Well, what is up, all my gamer friendulums? It is another Sunday. It is July 7th. We are now in the month of July. We're officially past the half-year mark for 2024. That's crazy. And yes, it's time for another news weekly roundup. If you hear any background noise, it's because it's hot in my apartment, so I got the windows open, I got the fan going, I got two fans going, my cat's all hot and sweaty, and she's like hiding underneath stuff so she can be cool. But beyond that, y'all cool if you're watching this, and we's gonna get into the news after the intro. So, an interesting announcement that the Watch Dogs movie has officially gone into production and it's actually going to start filming. So, this one, Watch Dogs, is one of those unusual IPs that I was surprised. I was surprised of hearing. Okay, so this is a Ubisoft property, and they have lots of other properties they could choose to adapt, but they decided to go with Watch Dogs. I mean, if you know Ubisoft, you know that Assassin's Creed probably. I'm assuming it's their biggest franchise. It must be, like, it's a hugely popular series. Yeah, they tried to do a movie a few years ago with Michael Fassbender. That didn't work out too well, but I could see them doing more with Assassin's Creed later on. Maybe an animated show. I almost feel like that could have already been announced, and I just didn't hear about it. The official Watch Dogs movie has begun. This news is coming from BGR. Don't even know what that stands for. Just a little bit about the game. Watch Dogs is an open world video game series about hackers who find themselves entangled in the criminal underworlds of their respective duties. Back in 2013, rumors of a Watch Dog film began to swirl online. I didn't know it was that far back. That's literally 10 years ago. And then a year later, Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese, who are of Zombieland and Deadpool fame, were hired to write a script based on Ubisoft's first game. I like knowing that because these guys are funny and Deadpool movies are hilarious, Zombieland's hilarious. Years went by without an update. At best, the movie was stuck in development hell. More likely, Ubisoft had decided to scrap it altogether. But then, last month, a surprise blog over on Ubisoft's website revealed that not only was the movie still happening, but it had a new writer, director, 2 stars, and an original story to tell. New Regency announced today that Time Blythe, Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbird and Snakes, and Sophie Wilde, Talk to Me have been cast in the film. Ubisoft confirms. Plus, the video game studio claimed the movie will feature an original story set in the Watch Dogs universe and will begin production later this summer. So they actually have a post on Twitter already from a couple days ago. So they're actually being officially shooting it. There's the clapper and lightscamera.action.exe, which is funny. If you don't know Watch Dogs, maybe you don't get the .exe part. And at first, I thought that's some kind of weird mistype, but being that the game is about hacking and using computers a lot to get around and take out enemies and stuff, that the .exe part makes sense. I played the first game. It was pretty cool. I like the idea of it. It's kind of like your GTA open world sandbox game, but you use computers and your phone a lot to hack things and to hack people and to hack into devices. And it was a cool idea. They have like 2 more games, so there's 3 games in total. Now that we know this is not going in a direction of any other games, I'm excited to see what they will do in its universe. A good point down here, though, is saying there's no telling if Watch Dogs will be the next Fallout or Last of Us. Plus, I love that they're using Fallout now as a reference and not just Last of Us, because goddamn, I love the Fallout show. But the bar is higher than it was when Ubisoft was first kicking around the idea. Yeah, in 2013, no one was doing adaptations. Now it's the new thing. It's the new hotness. So I'm hopeful this movie continues the upward trajectory video game adaptations are already on. Not the biggest of an update, but it is beginning filming, and that's cool to know that it's gone into production, and that's great news. So over here on Cinema Blend, an update on the adaptation of Like a Dragon Yakuza. This was published just yesterday by Philip Sledge. It's a cool last name. Blah, blah, blah. So this is just the opening stuff of like whatever. What is the Like a Dragon Yakuza premiere date? Surprised to see that this was hardly announced not even that long ago, but it already has a release date of Thursday, October 24th. So that's kind of nuts. It's coming out that quickly. And we've essentially seen almost nothing. We've literally seen nothing picture-wise of like the cast or on the set pictures or whatnot. So it's interesting that it's already coming out like pretty quickly. Hey, there's an ad for an AC if you need one. So, Yakuza Like a Dragon See, I keep saying Yakuza Like a Dragon, but they have it Like a Dragon Yakuza, and I don't get that. I don't get why they still choose Like a Dragon. They could have just called it Yakuza Nothing. So it's unusual the way they titled that. Because this is the Japanese property, I'm wondering what is called in Japan, because usually Japan game titles are completely different than the North American, like Resident Evil North America. In Japan, it's called Biohazard. It's like a completely different name. Prime Video has instead announced that Like a Dragon Yakuza will be released in 2 3-episode batches. So they're going to split up the first season into 2 3 dropping episodes. Another unusual choice. So I'm not sure why they're even mentioning Cobra Kai out of nowhere. Like, I don't know, I don't really get that. But however, like the upcoming Netflix show, which has nothing to do with Prime or this show whatsoever, will have extended periods between each part. What does that mean? They're going to drop a couple episodes, then wait 2 weeks or something? The first 3 episodes will drop October 24th, October 25th in Japan, and the second set will be released in the following week, October 31st, right on Halloween Day. This feels like a best of both worlds situation for prospective fans, as the release model will give viewers a chance to binge 3 episodes at a time, while also getting the weekly output. I'm wondering if they're doing this because of Fallout and how it dropped all at one time, and they weren't anticipating how much of a hit it became and how much it made the games popular again. I hope they learned their lesson from that, even though of course, I wouldn't mind. I didn't mind watching the entire season and right away because I couldn't wait to watch it. And I've literally watched the entire season about 4 or 5 times since then. Like a Dragon Yakuza cast. See, that's another thing that's crazy. They have almost no cast announcement, and it's coming out in October. At the time of this writing, only one member of the cast has been announced, but that should change sooner rather than later. That being said, let's take a look at who will be leading the charge when the video game adaptation joins the list of great Prime original sources. Ryoma Takeuchi. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce these names. I'm just a dumb cracker. Prime announced on June 2024 that Ryoma Kauchi will be taking on the lead role of Kazuma Kari, the Yakuza warrior at the heart of both the Like a Dragon series as well as the video game franchise on which it is based. Takuchi is a major star in his native Japan, where he spent the last decade appearing on shows like Kamen Rider Drive, Love as the World Ends, and Roppongi Class, as well as various movies like My Teacher, My Love, The Deer King, and Akira. He also briefly appeared in 2019's Detective Pikachu, one of the best video game movies. That's interesting. Takuchi additionally provided the voice of Justice Smith's character in the Japanese dub of the film. When Like a Dragon premieres on Prime in October 2024, it will tell the story of a Yakuza warrior, Kazumi Karu, as he goes from a Japanese youth to an on-the-rise figure in Tokyo's underground crime world. Amazon has announced that the series will take place in 2 time periods, 1995 and 2005, and will follow him as he and his friends deal with the repercussions of their actions in the past and present. In a statement released alongside the announcement, he teased intense fighting scenes for the series as well as the human drama and conflict that unfolds around the show's central figure. When can we expect a Like a Dragon trailer? Prime Video has yet to release a Like a Dragon trailer at this time of this writing, nor has the studio released any images from the series outside of the title card. However, with the show set to premiere in October, it should be a case of sooner rather than later. Be on the lookout for a glimpse at the show in the coming weeks. Yeah, I'm expecting something soonish. Like it's coming out in like less than 6 months. Though Like a Dragon Yakuza will technically tell an original story, it will be heavily influenced and loosely based on Sega's popular game series. Like the upcoming series, the games have typically centered around Kasuma, as the reformed Yakuza attempts to leave the criminal underworld for good, a feat that's easier said than done. The series has also introduced countless iconic and dynamic characters, and it wouldn't be all that surprising if some or many of them show up at one point or another in the new show. The series is directed by Masahiro Take. Like a Dragon Yakuza is directed by famed Japanese filmmaker Masahiro Take, best known for his films like 100 Yen Love, The Ringside Story, and We Make Antiques. 35 years, that's pretty crazy. That's actually a really long time for that's actually really cool. Like a lot of adaptations, usually, not newer, but just they don't really have directors or writers with that much of an experience. So that's interesting to see how a person with 35 years work in the industry would tackle a adaptation. In a statement that accompanied Prime Video's announcement for the series, Tgan said he poured out his heart and soul from his career to bring the series to fruition. Masayoshi Yokoyama has been instrumental in the video game series since its inception nearly 20 years ago, will also be involved as one of the show's executive producers, which should be good news for longtime fans. Yes, the creators of these games should somehow be involved, like a Dragon Yakuza's premiere on Prime Video in the coming weeks and months. Alright, so over here on Kotaku, not so much of a news article, but an interesting note about Cate Blanchett explaining why she's in the Borderlands movie, which is something that I was interested to know as well, because she's a highly regarded actress and has won multiple Academy Awards. So when I first heard she was going to be in this movie, I was surprised, but also excited, because I'm like, yes, that's what this is what this genre needs, is high quality actors. Though, according to the article, she kind of did it for unusual reasons, which people get into. Yes, she says she blames it all on COVID-19 and a case of lockdown brain. Just like I said, it always seemed weird that famed Oscar-winning actress decided to be a part of the Borderlands live-action movie. Now we know the story of how this odd casting happened, and it seems we can blame COVID. In May 2020, it was first reported that Blanchett was in talks to star at the upcoming Borderlands movie, directed by Eli Roth, also starring Jack Black and Kevin Hart. The live-action adaptation of Gearbox's popular looter-shooter series seemed like a strange choice for the renowned actress. What was it about the troubled development of Borderlands and Lilith, her character in the film, that attracted Blanchett? Some theorized she was just looking for a big paycheck. Others suggest she was secretly a Borderlands sicko. But the actual truth is that during the pandemic lockdowns, being cooped up and not working started taking a toll on her, so she took the job. As explained in a new online excerpt from a feature about the Borderlands film in Empire, Blanchett said that she enjoys crazy roles that people wouldn't expect her to take. However, she also suggested a bit of COVID madness. Spending a lot of time using the chainsaw a little bit too freely. My husband said, this film could save your life. That's a bit extreme. Funnily enough, the previous mentioned report claiming she was in talks to star in the film was from May 2020, just a few months into the global lockdown happening into the pandemic. So this all tracks. Honestly, it makes more sense now that she says yes to Borderlands, because she was stuck in her house for months and losing her mind. According to Empire, she got prepared for the role. According to Empire, to get prepared for the role, Blanchett got a PS5 and started playing the games. PS5. She got a Series X, bro. Should have got a Series X, Miss Blanchett. She also got absorbed into the Borderlands community, looking at cosplayers and superfans online. And hey, she seems to have a good time making the film. The gunslinging stuff was so much fun, so that's nice. I wonder if Jamie Lee Curtis, who's also in Borderlands, can similarly blame COVID-19. Okay, I don't like the ending here. What's this about? Borderlands hits theaters on August 9th and it doesn't look good. What are you talking about? This is Kotaku being full of shit. Like, I don't really trust anything Kotaku says anymore. They lost a lot of credibility lately. This just seems like a clickbait article. To get prepared, she delved headfirst into the games. My thumbs can barely control a phone, but I bought a PS5 and played together, she says. I wanted to know the limits of the game and what fans loved about the character. I got really absorbed into the whole world, the cosplayers, the YouTube makeup tutorials. After working together on Family Spookfest, the house with a clock in its walls proved another fruitful collaboration. The combination of the two of us is mixing Elizabeth and Hostile Tar Thanksgiving. Okay. We've seen her twirl a baton, but wait until you see her twirl a gun. How's that for an overture? Well, all my frangulums, that's about all the news that I could find for this week. Not anything all that crazy exciting. No new announcements. It's cool to see that the Watch Dogs thing is going into production, and that later this year, Yakuza is going to drop. So that's another adaptation coming out this year. Though when I'm trying to think about what else has come out this year besides Fallout, I can't think of anything. So I feel like they should be releasing more than one or two things a year. Considering it's also on Prime, so Prime's starting to become like the adaptation space. beyond Netflix. So it's two Prime adaptations coming out this year. But I wonder what else is coming out that I'm not seeing or missing. But perhaps I should look into that in another video. But until then, my friends, don't forget to like and subscribe. But above all else, don't forget to keep